Dear students, in 11th standard, we are going to study a new topic, plant morphology and taxonomy of angiosperms. In this, we are going to see about the vegetative morphology. Now, let us see about the chapter outline. So, in this chapter, we are going to discuss about habit, plant habitat, lifespan, parts of a flowering plant, root system, shoot system, and leaf system. So, in the first topic, what we are going to see is habit, plant habitat, lifespan, and parts of flowering plant. Before entering into the topic, let us see what is morphology. So, morphology means the various external features of the organism is known as morphology. Plant morphology, it is also known as the external morphology, which deals with the study of shape, size, and structure of plants and their parts. So, the study of morphology, it is very important in taxonomy. The morphological features are important in determining productivity of crops. So, when we talk about the morphology, what are the important parts of the plant means it is roots, stem, leaves, flowers, fruits, and seeds. So, when we talk about the plant morphology, it can be classified into two broad categories. One is vegetative morphology, it includes shoot system and root system. The next one is the reproductive morphology, which includes the flowers or inflorescence, fruits, and seeds. So, in this topic, what we are going to discuss is vegetative morphology. What is vegetative morphology? The vegetative morphology means it deals with the study of shape, size, and structure of plants and their parts like roots, stems, and leaves. So, if we want to understand the morphology in a good way means we should know what are the important components to be known. The important components are like habit, habitat, and lifespan. So, based on the general characteristics, the first what we are going to see under the vegetative morphology is habit. The general form of a plant is referred to as habit. So, when we talk about the habit, the plant life forms a specific characteristics of the plant species on appearance or growth of a plant species. Then it is said to be the habit. Based on the habit of the plants are classified into herbs, shrubs, climbers, and trees. First, we will see about the herbs. When we talk about the herbs அப்படின்னாலே அது வந்து எப்படி இருக்கும் அப்படின்னா ரொம்ப மென்மையான ஒரு செடியாக இருக்கும் ஓகேவா ஸோ ஹெர்ப்ஸ் இட் இஸ் செட் டு பி த soft stemmed plant with less wood or no wood. So the herbs will not have any wood. Accordingly, to the based on the duration of their life, the herbs are classified into annuals, biennials, and perennials. So when we talk about the perennial herbs, it will be having bulb, corm, rhizome, or tuber, which is said to be the underground stem. And these are also termed as the geophytes. Why we are calling it as a perennial herbs means when there is a no favorable condition. Under unfavorable condition, what happens? The aerial part of the plant will die, but the underground stem it will be surviving for a long time. So when we want to give examples for this bulb, corm, rhizome or tuber, we can give examples like for bulb we can give onion, for corm we can give colocasia, for rhizome we can give ginger, and for tuber we can give potato. So these underground stems it is also called as the geophytes. So the example for these herbs are Pailanthus amarus, Clio viscosa. So now let us see about the shrubs. So what is a shrub? A shrub is said to be a perennial woody plant with several main stems which is arising from the ground level. Example for the shrubs is hibiscus. The next one is the climbers. Already we have seen about the climbers in your lower classes. So the climbers, when we talk about the climbers will have weak stem and they generally need support for its growth. So what is climbers means an elongated weak stem generally supported by means of a climbing device are called climbers, which may be annual or perennial, herbaceous or woody. Lina is a vine which is a perennial and woody. Lina's major components is the tree canopy layer of some tropical forest. Examples: Vantiloga, Entada and Bougainvillea. These are said to be some of the examples for the liana climbers. Now let us see about the trees. So you are all aware about the trees. When we talk about a tree, the tree it will be tall, stout, perennial and woody, and it lives for many years. So the tree it will be having one main stem which is called as the trunk, and from the trunk we can see many lateral branches arising. So the example for the trees, generally we can give many examples like neem tree, mango tree, sapota, jack, fig, teak, etc. So we can also see some trees which do not have any branches, and these unbranched trees it is called as the carex. Example for the carex are palmyra and coconut. So you can see the coconut tree which is growing very straight, and at the edge it will be bearing the leaves and fruits. It does not have any branches. So this type of trees is said to be the carex. The next topic what we are going to see here is the plant habitat. So plant habitat அப்படின்னா அதனுடைய வால் இடம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லலாம். ஓகேவாம்மா? ஸோ எந்த இடத்துல எந்த செடி வளருதோ அதிகமாக வளருதோ அதை தான் நம்ம என்ன சொல்கிறோன்னா அதனுடைய வாழிடம் அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறோம். ஸோ டிபெண்டிங் அப்பான் வேர் த பிளான்ட் grows, the habitat it has been classified into two main categories. So what are the two main categories means? It is terrestrial and the aquatic. So the terrestrial அப்படின்னு சொன்னால் உனக்கு தெரியும், terrestrial அப்படிங்கிறது நிலப்பகுதி. So the plants which are growing on land, it is called as the terrestrial plants. The following table which you will be getting an illustration about the terrestrial plants, how it has been classified based on their environment. Next is the aquatic plants. So when we talk about the aquatic plants, the plants which are living in water, it is said to be the aquatic plants, or it is also called as the hydrophytes. The terrestrial habitat, it has been classified into four types. They are mesophytes, xerophytes, psammophytes and lithophytes. When we talk about the mesophytes, the plants which are growing in soil with sufficient water is known as the mesophytes. Example for mesophytes is Sadirecta indica. வேம்பு அப்படின்னு சொல்லி அதை தமிழில் நம்ம சொல்லுவோம். சரிங்களா? Xerophytes. The plants which are growing on dry habitat is known as the xerophytes. So the example for the xerophytes are Opuntia and Euphorbia. Opuntia means chapati kalli, Euphorbia means amanakku. Psammophytes. So these are the plants which grows on sand. Example for the psammophytes are Ipomia pescaprae. So it is also known as the goat's foot. And next example is Spinifex littorales. It is also known as the Elikuchi pull in Tamil, and in English it is commonly called as Ravana's mosaic. Lithophytes, which grows on rock. ஸோ நீங்கள் பார்த்துருப்பீங்க நிறைய மரங்கள் வந்து பாறைகள் மேலே கூட வளர்ந்துட்டு இருக்கும் சரியாமா. ஸோ lithophytes are said to be the plants that are growing on rocks. So many algae and lichens and ficus species comes under the lithophytes. The next what we are going to see is aquatic habitat. So when we talk about the aquatic habitat, already we know that aquatic habitat means the plants which are living in water, which is otherwise known as the hydrophytes. So this is classified into 5 categories as free floating, submerged, emergent, floating leaves and mangroves. So first we will see about the free floating. Free floating means the plants which is totally growing on the water surface. So we can see that the plant is growing on the water surface. It will be having a succulent leaf and the roots it will be protected with root caps. So example for this free floating plants are Ecornia, Pistia, Lemna and Trappa. The next one is the submerged plants. So the plants which are growing completely under water, தண்ணிக்குள்ள தான் இருக்கும். It will not have contact with air or it also sometimes it does not have contact with the soil also. It is completely found under the water. Example Hydrilla palisneria. Emergent. So in this we can see the plants with the roots or stem, it is anchored to the substrate under water and the aerial shoots will be growing above the water. தண்ணிக்கு மேலே ஷூட்ஸ் இருக்கும், தண்ணிக்குள்ளே வந்து பார்த்திங்க அப்படின்னா அதனுடைய ரூட்ஸ் வந்து சம்மர்ஜ் ஆகிருக்கும். ஸோ திஸ் டைப் ஆஃப் பிளான்ஸ் இட் இஸ் செட் டு பி த எமர்ஜென்ட் பிளான்ஸ். எக்ஸாம்பிள் ஃபார் த எமர்ஜென்ட் பிளான்ஸ் இஸ் limnophyton tifa. Limnophyton means blunt arrowhead. குதிரை குளம்பிடி அப்படின்னு தமிழில் இதை வந்து சொல்கிறாங்க. டிஃபா மீன்ஸ் சாம்பு அப்படின்னு இதுக்கு ஒரு பேர் இருக்குது. ஓகேவாம்மா. நெக்ஸ்ட் ஒன் இஸ் த ஃப்ளோட்டிங் லீவ்ஸ். ஸோ ஹியர் வி கேன் see that the plant is completely it is rooted, but at the top the leaves it will be floating on the surface of the water. The plant it will be completely rooted, but the leaves it will be floating. Example Nelumbu and Nymphia. Next one is mangroves. So this mangroves otherwise it is said to be the Sundarbans also. So these plants it will be growing in marshy saline habitat. Example Avicennia and Rhizopora. So already in 10th social you might have learned about the mangrove forest. Now we are going to see about the third topic in the vegetative morphology, that is lifespan. So based on the lifespan of the plants are classified into 3 categories as annual, biennials and perennials. All these topics you have learned in your lower classes itself. Now let us see about the annuals. So these annuals it is otherwise known as the therophytes or it is also known as the ephemerals. So the plants which completes its life cycle within one season, one growing season, then it is said to be the annuals. அதாவது வருஷத்துக்குள்ளேயே அதனுடைய லைஃப் சைக்கிள் ஃபுல்லாக கம்ப்ளீட் பண்ணுச்சு அப்படின்னா வெஜிடேட்டிவ் க்ரோத்தும் அட் த சேம் டைம் வந்து ரீப்ரொடக்டிவ் க்ரோத்தும் ஒரு பிளான்ட்டில் ஒரு வருஷத்துக்குள்ளேயே முடிஞ்சிருச்சு அப்படின்னு சொன்னால் தென் இட் இஸ் செட் டு பி த ஆனுவல்ஸ். எக்ஸாம்பிள் ஃபார் த ஆனுவல்ஸ் ஆர் பீஸ், மெய்ஸ், வாட்டர்மெலன், கிரவுண்ட்நட், sunflower, rice and so on. So there are more examples we can give for annuals. So these annuals it is also known as the therophytes or ephemerals. So it will be completing its life cycle within one growing season. Biennials. So the plants which will be growing for 2 seasons. So during the first year the vegetative part of the plant will be growing and during the second year the reproductive part of the plant will be growing. So then it is said to be the biennials. Biennials means 2 years or 2 seasons. So example for biennials, what are the examples we can give now? We can give onion, lettuce, fennel, carrot, radish, cabbage and spinach. So these plants comes under the biennials. Next we will see about the perennials. The perennials, it is otherwise known as the geophytes. So perennials means it will be living for a long year. Give the plant, it will be surviving for 5 years, 10 years. Even there are some examples we can give the plants which is living for 450 years and above. So these plants are said to be the perennials. So they will be bearing fruits every year, and these plants, it is also said to be the polycarpic because throughout the year, throughout the lifespan, it will be bearing the flowers and fruits. So it is called as the polycarpic. Example for the perennials are mango, sapota, etc. Here also we can see some plants which produce flowers and fruits only once, and they will be dying after a vegetative growth of several years. So polycarpic means throughout its lifetime it will be producing the fruits and flowers. But even in trees we can see some plants what it will be having now. It will be producing the fruits and flowers for one time, and after that it will be having its vegetative growth, whereas it will not have the fruits and flowers on it. So this type of plants, it is said to be the monocarpic. Example bamboo, agave, musa, talipot, palm, etc. Now let us see the parts of a flowering plant. So already you might have learned in your lower classes about the parts of the flowering plant. So the flowering plants, it is called as the angiosperms, or it is also known as the magnoliophytes. Here we can see the sporophytes, which is consisting with an underground root system and an aerial shoot system. So the shoot system, it will be having stem, branches and leaves. The root system, it will be having the main root along with the secondary root and also the tertiary root. So the root system, it consists of roots and its lateral branches.